Welcome to ESAConnection's Business Conversations. Today we're diving into a conversation all about Google reviews with our guest speaker, Eric Whitmoyer from My Biz Coaches.
Identifying, what should be in there, what should be in your profile to make sure you optimize it. Reviews are a component of that. So one, to make sure you capitalize and really see the full value of the reviews that you get. You want to make sure that your Google My Business profile is optimized so you get the full value of the reviews. I'll go into a little bit more here in a second. I'm going to actually share screen. I'll show it in a little bit here, go through some actual profile examples that I have to share. But let me start with this. First of all, 46% of all Google searches are local searches. Meaning, has anybody ever used before Google this near me? So for instance, restaurants near me, bars near me, coffee shops near me, whatever it is. If you've used that before, that's a local Google search. And what for many of you, kind of looking around the room, looking at what some of you people do, try to pay attention while you guys were sharing your elevator pitches. Most of you are home-based businesses, I'm going to guess. And if you are, this is even more important because if you don't set this up correctly, you won't be able to use it. And I'm actually going to show some examples of the disappointments that you can see if you don't have this set up correctly. Christine, I'm going to ask, do you have a link that you can throw into the chat that is the actual, that shows your the reviews that you have? I looked for it and I couldn't find it. But so I'll keep going with that while you look for that. But there's 5 billion searches happening daily on Google. And thank you so much. Appreciate that. And so it's really important for you to remember that if you're trying to build your business, and I'll steal this from you, some people are fans, some people are not, but Grant Cardone, if you're familiar with who he is, one of the things I learned from him that is exceptionally important, I think, for anybody in starting a business is getting known. Having your business be known, people being able to find your business. The biggest reason why most people fail in business is because people can't find them. And a Google profile is one of the most prominent ways. It's more valuable than your website, quite honestly. That you can invest all this money and time into building out a website, and the reality is, at the end of the day, it's not nearly as valuable as your Google profile can be for your business. So I strongly encourage people to make sure that they understand how important it can be for you. Perfect. All right. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, Christine. So and the big thing is visibility, and visibility creates opportunity. So a couple other things: boost your search and it boosts your search on visibility. It builds immediate trust. So the reviews themselves specifically help you establish a trust. So let me ask this of anybody who's go ahead and unmute and answer this question. But if you're looking for a restaurant, let's say a brunch restaurant on a Sunday morning, you're going to brunch with some friends or family members or whatever, and you're looking for a brunch near me, what do you use as a determining factor to select the actual restaurant if you're kind of using it, especially if you're in an area where you're not familiar?
Go to Yelp.
Okay, you go to Yelp. But if you were looking through the determining factors, what would the determining factor be as to whether or not you select it?
The number of ratings and how high the stars are.
There you go. Thanks, Mitch. Appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely. Right. If you're not familiar, and somebody who I spent 20 some odd years of my career traveling, that is a really helpful piece. That you're not familiar with the restaurants in the neighborhood and the community, finding the rate of the reviews that are on that particular restaurant or any business for that matter. Yeah, I'm not sharing a screen, not yet. Sorry, just to clarify. The key here is that when you're not when your reviews aren't there and you don't have enough reviews, your credibility is lessened, right? And so when many of you are in like a coach role, or you're in a role where you're trying to get credibility, you're trying to get people to choose your services, and if somebody can't do a Google review on you, that is going to make it harder for people to find you, and you're going to have to work that much harder to impress upon people who you are and what you do. Does that make sense to everybody? So that's one of the main reasons why we really and challenge and encourage people to get their Google profile, not only the reviews, but more specifically Google profile, because that they work in conjunction with one another. There is also a direct SEO benefit from it for those of you who are familiar with or investing money in SEO for your website. There's a huge SEO benefit from having a good Google profile. And it will drive traffic. Predominantly, it drives foot traffic or phone calls. Interestingly enough, many people who have a Google profile have a phone number, and they don't answer the phone that's listed on their Google profile. Great way to not help your cause of trying to get noticed. A couple other quick stats, and then I'm going to jump over to some selected profiles I want to show you. First one is 88% trust online reviews like personal recommendations. Kind of referenced that earlier. And then 73% of customers will only engage with businesses with 4 stars or more. As a matter of fact, I can tell you that we in my family, we personally, if it's a restaurant and it's not a 4.5 or better, we typically, unless we have been there and know them, we wouldn't go there. So think about it in your own use cases. Do you use those Google profiles? And yeah, there's Yelp and there's other solutions as well, but the Google profile is probably one of the most prominent out there and one of the ones that you most easily will show up when you do any kind of search. And anybody who uses it extensively will notice increased traffic, higher conversion rates, and a stronger customer loyalty. All right, let me pull up. This is a look of a Google profile. Can somebody confirm you can see the screen? Perfect, thank you. All right, so this is what a Google profile will look like on the back end. As you can quickly identify, and all I do is just put in the Google bar my biz coaches, right? And this is what pops up. This is my view of my biz coaches on the back end of my Google profile. And you'll see the different components here of an actual profile. Ensure that you have high profile strength. It's really easy to follow the guidelines. If you just click on here, it will actually walk you through and tell you the things that you want to make sure that you do to get your profile optimized. You'll see over here, I have 8 Google reviews, 8 5-star reviews. Ironically, we just started focusing on this at the beginning of the year. I was bad about it, like many of us are, and didn't do a great job of getting people to actually do this. We have lots of reviews. I just wasn't getting them on Google. And then the person that I work with for my Google profile was like, hey, they gave me all the education that I'm giving you right now. But you'll see it'll have your information, your contact information, all that kind of stuff. And then when you get to the reviews, you can actually break them down and see what people say about your business. And people read these reviews. It's not just as Mitch mentioned, that it's not just the stars and the number of reviews. People will go and actually read the specific reviews and see what people said about you. So it's really important to make sure that you're, like I said, trying to capture this information and drive people to your Google profile. This works phenomenal for physical buildings, but you can also get this. And if you've ever not been able to, because you're a home-based business, get your Google profile approved, you can do that, and feel free to reach out. Happy to walk you through the process. It's a little lengthy, it's a little pain in the butt, but it's well worth the effort. Some of the things you'll find when you do this, it'll automatically pull in information from your website, obviously, but on your Google side, you notice over here, I actually have products listed. This is actually one of the most important things that you can do as a business owner who offers service solutions. Having listed products in here will help drive additional incremental traffic and get engagement from clients. Adding new products, you do an announcement that you added a new product or solution is a great way to get additional traffic for your Google profile. Again, it'll break down reviews, and then you can also go through and see some of the other components. It'll also show all your social media profiles, and then even people that you're actually associated with and connected with. But like in here, I actually have my Calendly link for appointments. People can go here and click here to schedule an appointment with me. And then any of your photos. Let's see, people who do coaching in the home. Does anybody here in this room do coaching in the home? Not coaching, but work with clients in their home? Yeah. Okay. If you do that and you take pictures, although it's a picture of the client, that might not be the ideal scenario. But if you're taking pictures remotely and you geotag those pictures, when you submit it from your phone from the location that you're at, that'll actually geotag your site and it'll actually give you exposure in that area. So when somebody goes and searches for you and says, I'm looking for a tutor doctor near me, you'll actually show up in that general area because you posted pictures in that from that area. Does that make sense? Because especially if you have a remote location. So if you're a remote business where you go around a lot, that's a great way to get incremental traffic and exposure. So you definitely want to make sure you're updating, putting pictures there and including those pictures into your Google profile. And there's a direct correlation between that and the value you get from the reviews. So let me show you a couple of other ones. This is one of my clients. This is Copper Wren Law. It's a law firm. They do probate and estate planning. They have a 4.9 on 32 Google reviews. I think she's really kind of put that together in the last 6 or 8 months. One of the most important things for a business like this law firm, right? If you're going to search a law firm, you got somebody who's a 3.8 and somebody's a 4.9, which law firm are you going for? Right? Huge consideration. So obviously, huge takeaway from that. Want to make sure that you're getting those and loading those in there. And again, the number of reviews is equally as important as the number of stars or the percentage of stars. You'll see a lot of really good results from her. She's actually done a great job of adopting this and incorporating this. I will tell you that our baseline goal for any business is really to get to 100 Google reviews. Once you get up over 100 Google reviews, the credibility really goes up, and there's an added benefit from Google. They continue to promote you more. So the higher your stars and the more reviews that you have, the more that you get exposure. Here's another client of ours. It's a networking organization that we got a 4.9 as well, 20 Google reviews. Often, obviously, you guys probably know when you have 20 reviews at 4.9, that's not bad. That's actually pretty good. You also know that, for lack of a better term, can be manipulated to a certain degree. So that's why the volume of reviews is so important. If you have, like mine, 8 reviews at a 5.0, people look at that and go, yeah, I got my 8 best clients to go fill it out for me, right? So that's where we have a conscious effort out there right now to go and increase the Google reviews and get our scores up higher, number of reviews up higher, and maintain that at least a 4.5 or higher on the Google review score. You'll notice the pictures, got lots of remote pictures. They're a networking organization, so you want pictures at the different events and you want them geotagged. And they actually have their membership pricing or categories on here for their products. Again, those are great to help and generate more exposure for your profile. Let me show you. Okay. So here we go. This is a tutor doctor, and Christine, phenomenal success. And this is just for the Chandler Gilbert Awatuki one. Is that a collage of multiple locations?
We're a franchise. The way that it works is that you purchase territories, so
Yep.
we work within certain zip codes.
So tutor doctor is not a physical location; it's a mobile.
Yeah, all of our tutors travel to the homes from whatever location they're coming from.
Okay, yeah. So perfect example of why it's so important, because you don't have a physical location to really a Google profile has a lot of value, and you've done a phenomenal job of getting those reviews. Outstanding. Kudos to you. The key thing, and I'm going to ask you of this. We have our tips and tricks, but I'm curious, what were some of the things that you guys have done to be able to get the number of reviews you've gotten?
deliver excellent service. It's not just that.
It starts with that, right? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's exactly what it starts with. It kind of plays into your presentation on the CRM too, like just making sure you set reminders. You really need to know the timing of it, because a lot of times if you ask at the wrong time, like the email will just go away or the text will just go away. They'll kind of ignore it. What we do, I put our InstaBio link in. We have one link for all of our review pages. So we just send it when we ask for a review, and they can choose whatever site that they'd like to do. Google is our number one. It's also one of our top sources for leads as well.
Yep.
We're really visible. We are one of the top searches that is not sponsored, because it's just, that's one thing when clients call us, we took a look at your reviews. I just did like a quick filter, and out of about 150 leads that we've had so far this year, 17 were from Google searches where they specifically took a look at our reviews. So not like a huge amount, but it is something that we post on, like it's in all of our signatures. That's where I got the link from. So people have access to it at any time. And I have to say too, it's like just keeping track of it. If you have a customer who's constantly giving you feedback when you're talking to them saying, oh my gosh, I'm having a great experience, this is awesome, but they still haven't given you a review, if they agree to it, just like keep texting the link. Not on a schedule, like I'm just gonna put this out there because we get this a lot out here, like pest control, right? Every time they do a service, they ask you for a review. Like, you don't want it to be like that, but when you do speak with them and you're getting that good feedback, just reminding them, hey, like, would you be able to write a review for us? And more often than not, like after a couple months of working with someone, they will write it. Trying to think of what else. You had mentioned the geotagging. When we do events as well, we'll geotag.
Yeah, great point.
So
yep.
Anywhere in Gilbert, Chandler, Albuquerque, if I'm at the ASU campus recruiting tutors there for like our higher level math courses, or if I'm at a school event at one of the elementary schools, we'll geotag, and that boosts your visibility a lot as well. We actually noticed when we went to a few places in Scottsdale, our Google leads were up, specifically in that area where we had just geotagged. So that's definitely something that absolutely works. I also highly suggest meeting with Google, because they will suggest a lot of things. They can show you all the data, like what your click rate is, where are they clicking on your Google page. That's been really helpful. Also, always responding, because you can put keywords into those responses that you want to come up more often. So like dropping words like homeschool or tutoring or K-12 education, or like whatever you want to pop up when people search certain terms and you want that to come up at the top of the page. It's a great way to target those things.
Yeah, great points. Excellent. I really appreciate you sharing that. I think that I spent 20 some odd years to almost 30 years in sales. And one of the things that I taught my team specifically was referrals is how you stay in business. That's how you continue to have a career in sales. And it's through referrals, and the way that you ask for referral is a well-timed request, right? It's right after you provided a phenomenal service, and you say, you know what, who else would benefit from the excellent service I provided today? And they're like, oh, I'd love to refer you to so-and-so, right? And so I look at reviews the same way, right? It's you really appreciate the time that I did, the service that I provided, or whatever it was. Would you mind doing a Google review? It means so much to our business. It helps dramatically, blah, 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 right? You go through the whole spiel, but you have to make it easy for them. I think that was one of the things you kind of touched on. It's in your signature. It's in multiple places where people can find it. That's an important component. And I think one of the biggest things more than anything else as it relates to, being able to get reviews is it's top of mind in what you do, right? You just reference, I don't know, 5 or 6 different things that you guys are doing to get the reviews. And that would just rattle right off, right? You're doing it on a consistent basis all the time. And that's what the people that we see that have the best results with Google have really good Google reviews, have high scores, have a lot of reviews, and they have a process for getting that in front of people. And one of the things you said, there was a direct correlation to the leads that you're generating from your Google profile because of the reviews, or at least the reviews are actually assisting in the exposure.
There's one other thing I want to mention too. Google will occasionally go through and use their algorithm to make sure that all of your reviews are legit. There is an appeals process with Yelp. It stinks because we had some verified, like great reviews on there that they just was no way to appeal them. But you just want to make sure that you're staying on top of it, because every once in a while they will, and they'll take down some of them. We had some legit reviews that they took down and we had to appeal. So sometimes just like keeping an eye on it too, because they won't necessarily tell you sometimes. Just keep an eye on like which ones might have been taken down. I think you can see it on the business page too, on your account. But it's just like making sure that you are keeping all the legit reviews is also something just to be aware of, because maybe like once or twice a year they'll go through and just scrub it to see if there's anything in there that you might have put on there to boost the reviews. And sometimes they'll take down legit ones. So it's just something to be aware of. Yeah,
absolutely. Great point. So the last thing I'm going to show you real quick is just, this is, and I hate to pick on him, but this is a young man that asked for my guidance. I gave him some suggestions. He's got a great, I'm going to show you the counter to this. He doesn't show up on Google at all because he's not taking the time to set up his Google profile. He's got a very successful bounce house business. And I look at his Instagram, and I picked Instagram because you guys a bunch of people were putting their Instagram things out there. He's got almost 1,800 followers. He's got a legit business. I think he's got about 60 different bounce house units and really good business. He's got nothing on his Google profile. And I told him when we had this conversation, I'm like, I guarantee you, like I would coach you for free for a year, because I'm certain of this, that you'll increase business by 15 to 20% if you set up a Google profile and get it up and running and promote it the way that you do your Instagram. So anyway, I bring it up because we had the conversation about 3 months ago and he still hasn't done it yet. So it was a free piece of information I provided for him. He hasn't taken me up on it yet. We'll see. But I share that just to give you some perspective. There's lots of people out there that have successful businesses, and you can see he's shown up for all the things over here, but he does not have a Google profile. So huge missed opportunity as far as I'm concerned. And I highly recommend to anybody. And like I said, I built my business through networking. And when I saw the power, literally just putting those 8 reviews, getting those people to fill out those reviews, right? Pulling them from the different locations, asking people to go in and do the Google profile. And I actually saw probably about 150 clicks per month increase in my website traffic. So just to give you some perspective on the amount of increase that was able to generate. So Tammy, that's I see it's time. So that's what I have for tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Irvin. All right, guys, it's 8 o'clock, but we're going to stay on for a few minutes and get questions asked. I have some questions, lots of questions. This is fascinating. Okay. So you said that Google will talk to you and show you all the data. How do you get a hold of Google to discuss your Google profile? That's fascinating that they'll do that.
Kimberly's coordinated that. So I would have to ask her, but they do meet with you. I know like sometimes it's for like an advertising pitch, but during that pitch, they will go through all of your data, which is great.
That makes more sense. Okay.
Then geotags and pictures. How do you do both of those? I was like trying to Google it on what you guys are talking about. It looks like geotags you set on your phone, and then pictures. Do you have to add those?
So if you look right here on my profile, you'll see the photo selection.
Okay.
Yep. So you can just go there. Now you could just as easily add it from your phone. Yes. But you could go, when you pull this up on your phone, you should get the same look. Here's where you would add your products. Here's where you add your photos. You can edit your profile, all that kind of stuff, all from here. So if you're in your location and you put this right here, this is what the page that should come up for your account if you're in your Google account. Does that answer your question, Tammy?
Yep. Perfect. So geotags, right? You're going to do some sort of thing on settings on your phone, and then you upload the pictures, but you want to geotag on it, especially if you're doing services across multiple cities. And then you are going to go to, when you're on your profile, you're going to go to your account and add in photos.
Correct.
So you control the photos. It isn't other people adding them. It's you.
Correct.
Okay. Awesome.
Eric, I got a good question for you. So on my business profile, literally will say location signature audio. Signature audio is we're all part of the same building, and I'm in suite 102 to 104. He's in suite 101, and literally my location is tagged with his name on it. I've appealed to them. I've tried to write to them. I've tried to edit that, and I have never received a response. I've tried to move my tag back to where, even though my business comes up, as with my address on the Google listing, it will show location signature audio.
Yeah. I can tell you what I'll do if I have that happen. I can make a referral to you. His name is Craig Darling. And I happily share his information if you'd like. He's the one that helped us get ours cleared up.
That would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's and he's helped with a bunch of our different clients because that's more a common occurrence than we'd probably like to care to acknowledge.
Yeah, and he's a real guru. A couple of quick comments though, also just kind of what you're referring to. I hats off to Christine about being very proactive when it comes to searching for reviews. And I really, you talked about how finicky parents can be. Knowing when to ask can make a huge difference. You can even place little Google review cards in addition to CRM outreach, so that you have your Google review there so you can give it to the people that are going to give you 5-star reviews.